Felting is taking wool and turning it into an object, whether that's a hat or gloves, or in this case, we're making small hearts and shapes. Modern-wise, you can actually turn them into all sorts of cute figurines and things to display in your house, but back then, historically, they would have done it with hats and gloves mostly. Today, we're doing what's called needle felting, which is a little different from what they would have done in the 1830s. This process is a little less messy and easier for the public to get a hands-on experience with, which is why we chose it. And what they're doing is they're taking little tufts of cleaned wool, and they are agitating it with a needle on top of a foam block. And so the agitation of the needle going up and down is creating heat. So what they're doing is they're taking small tufts of wool, and they are agitating it with a needle on top of a foam block. And the heat from the needle going up and down is agitating the fibers so that they try and stick together with those wool scales. And when you do that enough times, you actually create a shape, or sometimes even a full sculpture or a hat, which is what they were using felting for back in the 1830s. While this is a modern take on a historic technique, it's fun to see because it's part of history and it's the way people would have done it back then. And you know, you go to Cavender's, you go to Boot Barn and you buy yourselves a wool cowboy hat, and you don't really think about how that hat was made back in the day, back in the 1800s when those hats were first being worn. And this is how they would have made them. And so I think it's a part of our history, it's a part of where we come from, and it's a part of crafting, but it's something we'll still do today, which I think is really fabulous, that we can still have these type of crafts still going and still being a part of culture. Every week this summer we are having different hands-on history, so it'll rotate around the park to our different historic sites. So you can come out every week and learn something new at each one of those sites. In addition to that, we've got Father's Day coming up this month, and we're going to be doing a special shooting class for Dad. So you've got to sign up in advance. You can do that on our website, and dads are going to actually get to come out and shoot some period weapons, both at the 1830s, and this year we have something new. We're going to actually have some guns out at the 1930s, so World War II era. The volunteers that you see out here today, these are our grits. These are our George Ranch interpretive teens. We've got about 35 this year that have come out as volunteers for the summer months, and they're going to be doing multiple programs every week this summer. We'll have different house tours and hands-on history. These kids are wonderful. They are so excited to be out here, and we're so happy to have them. I hope that when people come out here and see this, that they get an appreciation for the things that they have now and the way that we make things now. But also, I mean, pie in the sky, I really hope that they go home and try it. I'm a fiber artist myself. I'm a spinner and a knitter, and so those practices have been going on for hundreds of years, and to get somebody else excited or interested in it is one of my favorite things.